Welcome to Tidbit Talkin. Have some ideas about a fictional thing, each one featuring different levels of seriousness. Spoilers, here we go. Their whole kidnap and rescue thing goes by really quickly this time around because the Star Road is frantically trying to grant as many wishes as possible in a panic since it can see that giant alien sword fellow coming down remarkably fast. Mario does in fact normally go inside his home through the pipe chimney as a daily training exercise. Exor knew exactly how much force it took to collapse the bridge through self-induced vibrating because he figured it out while crashing into Bowser's Keep. The Mushroom Kingdom's main hero developed his pantomiming skills as a way to send messages to captured toads and whatnot from extremely far away. It wasn't one of the hammers they were currently wielding that's left behind after victory, but rather a new one that just got bought with some long-saved coinage. Neither wanted to equip it until they gathered enough money for another one, so no being left out related feelings would ever arise. Total health restoring big shrooms and point raising flowers must age to perfection inside those chests. Mallow's rain crying is actually him instinctively activating a healing spell. It's supposed to aid both him and possibly the friend who is the current cause of grief. Frog Sage doesn't want Kid Cloudy crying, so he doesn't mess up the natural swamp pond habitat they both call home. Mallow can't jump so well because gravity is weird for water vapor people. Toads normally do carry bazookas. It's what they use to make those firework displays. The Smithy gang must have started their assault on this land by using that recent rainstorm's cloud coverage as some sort of convenient stealth opportunity generating environmental dealy. This shopkeeper wants that one specific frog coin because of a scuff or something that got made during a meeting with Prince Puffy's adoptive grandpa. It's pretty much just sentimental hoopla. That shell probably came from a Koopa who a certain sky-originating giant blade mutant horrifically knocked away from the Turtley Castle. Gaz is telling a half-truth. Gino did break that lamp with a patented shooting star shot. It was just all done under said kid's direct control. Things like bow-ear disabling buttons and a particular spotty-headed vest person being aware of timed hits must have something to do with more than one dimensional barrier getting shattered when Exor entered the picture. Things must have never fully recovered either, given how paper series and other stuff is sorta similar in the tutorial department. Anyway, that guy is described as a messenger of Star Road, but never directly stated as belonging to that place's namesake species, based on things like his true title and form not being comprehensible to this planet's people. That whole hope down being responsible for wish-granting bunk, which is basically just answering prayers, and him possessing many ethereal kind of attacks. The guy is simply the SMB universe's angel equivalent. That being said, here's a pointlessly numbered list to get things a bit more specific and clear. 1. The aforementioned holy warrior species are in fact often called messengers just like him. Plus they supposedly have their own language and all that. 2. His attacks were originally supposed to damage undead foes greatly, like most RPG's heavenly elemental junk tends to do. 3. In line with what was just stated, he can blast foes with the light in multiple ways. 4. Providing others with enhanced strength is kinda a guardian spirit sort of thing too. 5. The highest damage attaining single target move in his arsenal is literally throwing halos at people. Well, it might actually be one going really fast, but whatever. Blue Bullet Blaster doesn't recognize Mario because entities like himself don't normally see things as worldly beings do. Divine creatures must generally view stuff with some sort of soul scanning sight or what have you. Dude's doll was the strongest looking because it's the one lonely owner boy is most careful with. It merely has the least amount of playtime induced battle damage. Gino can still hear the wishes folks make even though they can't be granted right now, hence him knowing everybody should go to Moleville even if Gaz isn't revisited. Punchinello must have gone to the mines to test new bomb prototypes. Having a product that's field proven to be high quality would be a great start at getting famous after all. Commander Cool Cape might have been subconsciously powering up with a nearby star piece to protect everybody from that king-size Bob. The door is always secured shut because Boozer doesn't actually know how to unlock it, hence that someone strong being present requirement for entry. This magic curtain could very well be intended for transforming Sir Tower Owner into the outfits of his various predecessors. The perfectly aimed strike of a chain chomp must be Bowser giving a special attack command at an extremely quiet volume when it gets extra close. The thing is said to be quite shy, so it might not respond so well when code words get yelled or even normally spoken. His charm is a pair of lucky undergarments, hence the smell. The heavy-duty material shelled Koopa Troopas make good chefs because their specialized physiology allows for endless handling of intense kitchen heat. Also, there might be some stuff going on with originating from a homeland that's a lava place. Both Dorte and his apprentice share the same name in battle because it's also what his catering company is officially called by. Killer Cake came alive because the new employee is from a talented sorcerer family like his spiky-shelled possibly former king, but doesn't know it. There's simply a whole accidentally using his powers kind of thing going on. It has many special attacks because that's the kind of occasions it was baked for. SNES era Link wound up here through a malfunctioning Dark World portal. The smithy sacked surveying seaside doesn't just grab the pointy magic eel that fell into the ocean because they'll rust and be vulnerable to certain combat-loving pirates. Torturous tickling wasn't an actual problem. These mechanical kidnappers also don't understand the concept of feeding prisoners. The blade was laid because certain aforementioned brawl-loving sailors who saw it also attacked with cannonballs and whatnot. Those sinister steely sirs didn't take the star piece from that appropriately named hill because their disguise forms didn't have vision good enough to differentiate said cosmic fragment from its flowery cousins. Bowser being sensitive to mold actually explains why he likes hanging out near volcanic region so much, as most variants of it can't exactly survive that stuff's extreme temps. Samus's helmet is smoking because she just went through Norfair before vacationing here. That's generally where Miss Chozo Champion has to go before reaching Torian and Mother Brain in Super Metroid after all. Anyway, she got here through utilizing some kind of emergency one-time use only Chozo tech deeply embedded in her armor. Also, this power nap is repairing her gravity suit. Mallow can tell Samus is female because his healing powers let him sense that sort of thing since it's important for restoring one properly with regards to both physical and mental malarkey. A supply of ribbit sticks was this young frog's gift to the town that so graciously took him in. These ants present the correct path because they just went through completed tunnels. Monster Town is situated on a cliff that's out of view of Bowser's Keep, which allows these refugees to hide both from their possibly pissed former boss and those horrifying living weapons. Helix can run out of FP rather easily because like most Final Fantasy Universe-esque characters, he finds elixir and ether type items too precious for casual use. Luigi worked here temporarily and learned how a casino operates because he can't bear plumbing without Mario by his side and thus needed a side gig for when cash got low without that bro. They are willing to believe a giant raven crow once said is Puffy Place's proper prince because there are all types of Nimbus people just like there's variety among regular clouds. Dodo has trouble noticing Golden Jumpman moving when dude leaps at the right time because of his own helmet shifting as he attempts a polishing peck. Pinwheel's forecast for tomorrow, bring an umbrella, is quite possibly a dark joke alluding to the king's impending poison-based execution. Basically, it's referring to his crying wife making a colossal rainstorm right after the deed is done. The general populace would likely be sobbing a lot too, especially since the queen would probably get killed next. Those birdie guys quickly improvise this statue disguise, both as a way to trick Mario and also potentially get a break from Boss Lady's nagging. Valentina couldn't take the first Master Key from him because he didn't have it on his person when getting frisked. It was kept in an emergency place just in case a guard got hurt before it headed to the castle or some sort of other potentially dire situation happened. That backroom patio deal Mario falls from after chasing Mistress Weird Taste in hats must be the normal dock parking space for this country's royal bus. Winning Valentina's battle nets so many coins because she raided the palace's vault before fleeing. In anticipation of their inevitable victory, Garo must have been making monuments of the whole party while Perfect Punching Plumber and pals were sneaking through this regal housing unit. Bezo seems to have planted invisible block seeds up here that grew from the abundance of moisture. This overly fancy yet quite blue-collar friendly vehicle broke because Dodo tried to ride it. Yellow is the only one who thought their pose went well because his low mobility level means he doesn't really have to do all that much during it. That Donkey Kong challenge door was implemented by Bowser and Kamek to mock Mario over his past failures with women. Pretty much something didn't wind up with Pauline will never win Peach's heart either. Boomer has the normal boss music instead of the Metallic Legion one because he was made by the brainwashed Wizakoopa and is thus technically a minion. Geno can pull off the perfect whirl against Exor even though other bosses are immune to it because being this close to Star Road gives him a considerable boost, especially with 6 out of 7 shards on hand. Although he soon loses all that extra strength because entering another dimension. The Belome statue is also hungry because it's what first got made when he started dabbling in magical clone creating eating shenanigans. Dude must have licked his own face really hard when trying to clean off some sauce or whatever and then accidentally discovered his most impressive capability. What Booster said to his new bride is he'd eat that bird right off her head. That switches for machines who are aware they are defective to use for putting themselves back onto the assembly line. Related to that, this button hurls Mario into a position for weapons forged with the wrong weight. The BattleBots must view Smithy as their god, hence his position being higher than those foremen and whatever who more traditionally run the factory. Heinous Hammer Heaver might have actually been created from the wishes of less than ideal psychological health experiencing people in this mushroom-stuffed world. Smithy wasn't reshaping his head, he was simply replacing it with assorted backup ones spread throughout the final battlefield. They must all be connected to his essence even when not in use, hence them also being gone once he's finished. That on-display hole isn't in the center, rather it's one of the 2 side ones caused by the hilt shape. This mobile castle usually gets chomp-dragged through lava and water instead of over land. The world's best personal assistant wanted his superhero buddy to get laid just in case this oddly intense bad guy killed him. These latest wishes all wound up falling purple because they were transformed at least a little bit when traveling through Weapon World energy. The Nimbus royal family and Frog Sage's new ones don't get altered because of their intense magical powers. The biggest bomb turns on Master Kaboom Maker right away because it saw all those smaller ones doing it. Punchinello found enough gold for enhancing it into its wonderful state in these mines he's been hanging out in. Lots would have been dropped by the fleeing mole men when he first showed up. If Johnny wins against Mario, he'll start using the plumber as his new skin suit. Sir Ultimate Post-Game Challenge got his wish granted by going to a world with an already fixed Star Road. Godly Glutton is hanging out with the choir to ease his throat after spitting out that golden stick. They're gassed now because of course that guy actually wanted a cake that attacks people, since he found the first one oh so fun. Culex was able to open his portal there because the inhabitants of Monstro Town welcome folks of all physical appearances. Their acceptance aura is simply so great it can defy every physical law. Endings are a pain, but all of you are fantastic. See ya.